It is still the month of March and we are still celebrating Women Empowerment for Women's History Month. We have been featuring segments and stories of Pinay Power for you, Pinay Power Behind the Kitchen or Pinay Power in the Kitchen with Chef Valerie Archer of Yamashiro, which is a very popular hotspot restaurant on top of Hollywood here in California. We featured Pinay Power Behind the Lens, and we featured just last week Jennifer Taylor, Pinay Power Behind the Community, who is also a real estate investor. We also want to share with you that this is the heart of what we do. We want to show you stories of inspiration and representation here in Hollywood and here in California. And that is why we are honored to be accepting an award from the Commission on Overseas Filipinos that recently gave us the Migration Advocacy Media Award for Best TV Show. And here is, I want to share with you my acceptance speech because I think it's very important that you see why we do what we do.
The best regular TV program on migration goes to SoJannelle TV from the USA. Hosted and produced by Jannelle So-Perkins for the Filipino Channel or TFC, KNET Channel 25.5 Southern California, ANC North America, and YouTube.com. The magazine talk show features issues, current events, and highlights a variety of aspects of the Filipino lifestyle in North America.
For me, coming to America was an obligation. My parents had sent my siblings to school here a few years prior to my move. I felt obligated to be close to them, and so I left my career as a sportscaster in the Philippines in 2003, and I moved to the States. A few years later, in 2006, I had the privilege to start the first and only daily talk show for Filipinos in the US. I was hired by a local station here in Southern California, and to me, that was a profession. But every day in that show, highlighting Filipino stories and Filipino personalities, it became an inspiration. And I ran that show for about 8.5 years until I decided to take a break and start my own family. In 2017, I launched my own production, Jannelle So Productions Inc., which launched SoJannelle, which was a weekly talk show, it still is, that now airs on TFC, the Filipino channel, ANC, as well as on KNET 25.1, which is a digital channel here in Southern California. And that is now my mission. My mission is to highlight Filipino stories and personalities and talk about stories of immigration and representation. Why is that important to me? It is important to me because not everyone gets to have a platform to share stories. And I believe that every story is worth sharing. Especially now that I am raising half Filipino children as Americans here in the US, I want them to know and discover and understand their culture through these stories. I want them to have a vibrant Filipino-American community that they can lean on and that they can contribute to, and that in turn will be able to nurture them. And that is why I started SoJannelle TV. This award is a validation of all our hard work. I say our because it's not just me. There's a staff behind this production that works tirelessly to discover and vet and share these stories for all of you. Stories of immigration about, a performer in the Philippines who moved to the States to become a truck driver and is very happy now with his life. Stories of an actress in the Philippines who moved here and became a hospice nurse. Or even stories of a young teacher in the Philippines who moved here to the States, first became a caregiver and then ended up becoming the personal jewelry designer of Liz Taylor. There's a lot of stories like this, and that is why I'm staying put to share these stories. People have asked me many times before, why not go mainstream? Why not cover Hollywood stories? And my simple answer to that is, why should I? We have enough stories of inspiration and aspiration in our Filipino-American community. And if we don't tell those, who will? And if we don't invest in our community, who will? And so to the Commission on Filipino Overseas or Overseas Filipinos, thank you so much for this recognition and thank you for this validation that we are doing the right thing. It is time for us Filipinos to band together, unite, and share our stories, because if we don't pay attention to our own community, to our own stories, if we don't celebrate that, who will? Again, thank you for this recognition. My name is Jannelle So-Perkins with SoJannelle TV, and I share this award with all the Filipinos all over the world who are tirelessly telling our stories. Mabuhay at maraming salamat po.